it does come out of that oven glowing quite a bit at 2,100 degrees, so we're seeing an orange color in the material. But what she's going to do is form a small bubble. She shapes and centers that blow ball, the last in the end of the tube. It's called a blowpipe. That and she's already formed a bubble. Now, normal conditions, without wearing a mask, we would put our mouth on the other end, on the mouthpiece, and with a reverse straw, you blow through blowing glass. It's been done like that since the ancient Romans figured it out 2,000 years ago. But with a mask on, we can't do that, so we use compressed air. And what you can't see is in front of her, behind her bench, a foot pedal. She presses that foot pedal over the pressure is released through the system. Now, what you can probably see is on the back side of the bench, there's a bunch of tools, but the hoses feed up to that one. There's a valve and a regulator, and we have our air pressure set to about 1.5 psi. If you're not familiar with lines of pressure, that's real low. That's like a whisper, and it simply doesn't take much when the glass is this hot. It's very soft. But she's formed our starter bubble, and we're going to build on that. Gathering glass at 2,100 degrees is like trying to get honey out of a big bowl with a dipping stick. It's the same viscosity. So with that bubble established, we can dip back in on that next gather, we can get about 3 times as much glass because we have a larger surface area. But there's a limit to how much you can get at one time. So if we want to make a really big piece, we will let this layer stiffen, go back in for a third gather, maybe a fourth and a fifth gather. Really depends. But pretty much everything you see down here was made out of 2 gathers. Also, a lot of pieces with color. Color can be applied very easily right now. While that is molten, she can roll that through some little chips of color balls. This is called Frick. And there's a few different companies that create a lot of color like this. We purchased from one of the oldest ones, still in operation over in Germany. But the blades of the jacks are profiled like butter knives, and their main function is what she's doing here. She squeezes them over the bubble. You can see this really tight constriction that she's working. That weakens the glass in one spot. We prepare for removal. We're going to break the bubble free at that weak spot. So that's a really important step. The smoke that's coming off from the blades is beeswax burning away. If you only had bare metal with nothing on there, they grab. There's a lot of friction produced. So we minimize that by putting a little wax on. You can use oil as well, but the wax is the most common thing. And that's the beeswax. But she's inflated this as just a basic sphere, and this can be turned into almost any shape from this point. This is a pretty solid foundation for those blown vessels. But really working that constriction in, the tighter that line is, the better off we'll be when the time comes to break this bubble off. So Katie's moving over to a secondary reheating chamber. This is an empty oven. There's nothing inside this one. Both furnaces are powered with natural gas and forced air. Keep in mind as you watch this process with Katie, she's got a lot of skill. She's got about 10 years of glass blowing under her belt. She's very good, great hand control, excellent knowledge and know-how of the material, and it looks pretty effortless in her hands, but I assure you that isn't anything but the case. It takes a long time to develop the know-how, especially the muscle memory. You watch that left hand, it just has this really good seamless control with the blowpipe. It takes a while to get that. A team of 10 people working together. We always have one person in charge of, I mentioned the term gaffer. Gaffer is what we use for the leader of the team. So we use gaff in this piece. We're centering the material on the tip of the bubble, with the head of the jacks. And then working together, we're going to create this little bump, we call it, on the tip of this head. Simple designs. Just 2 flat pieces of wood hinged together, tricky to work with. And this one is brand new, the one that she's about to use. Well, the one side is brand new, but they're actually it's a little bit harder to use. That's going to do the work on the blowpipe. We're going to flip this piece around in a moment. Just making sure the foot is level. Looks good, got it. So I'll form a handle we call punty. To balance the temperatures. She lets the foot lose a little heat and stiffen up, but she's making sure that the other areas of that bubble don't get too cold. 2 times to make sure that certain areas don't get too cold. And all of this comes down to her experience and really an internal timer that she has developed. We can't look at the glass and read the exact temperature, but you get a pretty good feel for it after Well, meanwhile, I'm making our punty. This isn't much glass, we don't need a lot for this. We want this to stick, or just temporary. So a small portion of glass, the right shape and the right temperature will allow this to stick to the foot, but when we're done, it should break through no trouble. Now, optically, as it doubles the wall thickness, creates a nice little element in this bag. I'm just shielding our wrist and forearm right now, so there's a lot of heat pumping out of that opening. With that being said, the pipes and the rods are stainless steel, so it should take effect. And this is going to take effect pretty quickly. Nice and hot, opens it up into a beautiful bell curve. So just getting the right setup. What do y'all think? Let's get it up for Kate. You have to remember, she did that in 15 minutes and 10 years. With just a year of experience, it'd be a very different show. So 10-foam tap breaks it free with our beautiful rods and nice marble stem. Now this has to go very quickly into an oven for slow cooling. This is an oven that's running right now at 900 degrees. Stable temperature for our glass, where it's rigid. At the end of the day, this oven's full, we run a program on there, and it's going to slowly drop to 900 down to room temperature. It takes about 8 hours. That's called annealing. Otherwise, that piece will crack and everything inside of it will crack. I'll just get Katie to figure out the